What is up, guys? Hopefully you guys are doing well. It is now the evening of January the 13th, and we're just going to go through our trade breakdown that we took today on the New York session, of course. So, as I was mentioning earlier, yesterday's video, the drawn liquidity for NQ was at these relative equal highs right here. Today we did have CPI, so we had some major news being released, which honestly shook up the market, to be honest. As you can see, we didn't really do much. Basically an indecision candle and still playing within the specific, I would say, range right here. Seeing how the bodies are somewhat like closing within this range, this specific candle, which was last week's Wednesday's candle. We're just stuck in it, right? So it's not really the best price action, to be honest. But overall, we'll go through it just to get an idea. So like I was saying the other day, we were basing our continuation based off last week's candles. Thursday formed the SMT. Friday was a continuation candle, disrespecting the order block. Monday we wanted to see a continuation, but we actually failed to continue going higher, and we closed back within the range. Actually now also forming a SMT at this specific low, am I correct? So we did have a low here as well. So we had an SMT here. So based off this specific criteria, we wanted to see this specific candle do an open, low, high, closed for CPI. So going on to our 4 hour, we noticed that we were respecting the SIBI right here, and we actually had an SMT within the time that we were on our call. We had an SMT right here, two-stage SMT within the, specifically with the 2 a.m. and 6. Actually, you know what? I'll just mark it like this. Yeah, we had it right there within the 2 a.m. to the 6 a.m. candle. ES was able to take it out, and same with YM from what I can recall. Yes, both of them did take it out. So I was looking for NQ buy since we had a nice clear draw to the upside for it, and you could see how we were disrespecting the down close candle with a nice SMT. So I really like the continuation higher, the idea for that. Now going on to our hourly time frame, we were able to form this inefficiency that we did mention that after 8:30 we were going to see some new phase of price, especially after taking previous day's high. Which, hold on, let me just replay this. Let me replay it from right here, just because. Actually, we'll go a little more just in case. Sorry, guys. I can remove this line now. So we were anticipating a new phase of price, specifically with this 9 a.m. candle, right? We already had the liquidity being taken from IRL to ERL, right? So now we wanted to see if we're able to accumulate to continue higher, or if this was just going to manipulate to go lower. So with CPI, sometimes it's very tricky, guys. I did mention in my video that I was streaming while breaking down live price action. I most likely might put it. You know what it is. I did cut it off just before 11 o'clock, which I actually entered my trade during 11:30. So it was just because it was like already 2 hours and a half the video. So, but of course I'll show you my execution. It's not like I just did it just to bullshit. Everything was literally I literally broke it down to what I wanted to see. I wasn't really into the shorts here based off the higher time frame idea that we had. So any of this was just I avoided. I traded this specific candle going higher, but it was very choppy, very high resistance conditions. and it's normal for CPI. It tends to do that. I've seen it a lot of times where you see this nice expansion candle, and then we just slowly start creeping lower, lower, lower back to those data lows, and maybe most likely for a specific liquidity, which we did. As you can see here at 10 a.m. we took out all this low resistance liquidity that was formed throughout Asia towards London. We took it out before expanding higher. So on our hourly, we were anticipating with the 9 a.m. to consolidate, and then for 10 a.m. to be the actual move, which actually confirmed our 4-hour candle that we were able to close back above this down close candle and to continue going higher. But as you can clearly see, we didn't really do that. We actually went much lower. There was no confirmation here. If we go into this, let me just make it a little bigger. Sorry guys, I forgot to do that. There was really no confirmation here for a specific reversal here. We actually did have a PSP right here, but there was no SMT here to confirm it. If you go on to the 3-minute, we can see it better. So this was 9:30. Imagine us trying to buy here at 9:30. You could see how we would have easily taken a loss here, guys, easily, right? So sometimes it's not about chasing, and this was just, I would consider like accumulation that we were mentioning earlier in the session, that I wanted to see accumulation and somewhat of an SMT here to continue going higher. But as usual, there was always something bound to happen. And let me just zoom this. This is the 4-hour. Let me just mark it for you guys. Usually I would have wanted to see a reversal, but again, like I mentioned before, sometimes it does take out the data lows before reversing, and we actually were able to do that. Once this was attacked, I'm pretty sure a lot of people took sales. I know some of the guys that in the community that I'm in were able to take some shorts. I can clearly see why, right? We did have an SMT here as well with ES, but I just didn't like how we left these relative equal highs, guys. This is not something that I like to trade away from, right? I want to trade into it. Okay, so once I saw NQ take out all this liquidity, this I wanted to wait for an accumulation and a V-shaped reversal, right? You could see how we have let me just mark it here. We have the 10:30 open right here. Open, high, low, close, right? So this was basically what it did: open, high, low, close. But we also formed a nice SMT here as well. Let me just look at it to see, to confirm that. Yeah, the current SMT was right here. Yes, it was right here with ES. Oh my God, I'm looking at YM right now. Look at this nastiness. This was terrible. Look at that. The way it just consolidated. Horrible. But anyways, and then we had 11 o'clock, which I don't think we had another confirmation, unfortunately, on this. Let me just go back to see if we actually did. You know what, we did actually, yes, because let me just go back. So you could see how we had this expansion here. I personally did not trade this because I wanted to wait for the 11 a.m. open. Basically, we were already like just under 10 minutes for the new candle. I would have personally waited for that. But you could see at 11 o'clock, which was right here, we were able to go get this. We were able to close above this down close, down close candle right here, confirming the change in the state of delivery to continue higher. So my actual first entry was right here, guys. I took a trade right here. Stop loss was actually at this this low right here because we did have an SMT here with ES. You could see how the inefficiency was filled right here. So SMT fill right here, and then NQ failing to do so, and we were trying to target these highs here. Well, most likely majority of my trade would have been at 2R, but You know what I mean? And then we had this manipulation one more time going lower. Personally, the way I see it is just because YM needed to take out this low here. But again, I'm not like, sometimes it does these things where it just wants to manipulate one more time. You could see how ES was actually manipulated even harder, forming another 2-stage right here, which we actually had that confirmation. So that, I think, why is the reason why I had my I took the stop loss, is because if we're basing a reversal, which this was considered a reversal, not a continuation, a reversal, because we expanded lower and now we're trying to anticipate a reversal back higher, back to these data highs, you want to see at least a 2 crack correlation. Unfortunately, there was no PSP on the 30-minute. I don't really look at the 15-minute for a cracking correlation, which there was right here, but you can see how it was still avoided here, right? So on the 30-minute, you can see how we had the 2-stage plus the PSP, so that confirms the reversal signature, and 11:30 was the expansion phase, which if we look at it right now, you can see 27 and then 11:30. So I personally entered somewhere around here from what I remember. I can't recall where exactly. It was somewhere around here. I think it was like 23 where I entered. I entered before the market the close, because of I just seen the strength switch, which I knew that it was gonna continue going higher. And you could see how we expanded, guys. We expanded with no type of down close candles. We just kept going. And then I wanted to target this, to be honest, but unfortunately we actually failed to do. I literally closed here, guys, and I'll show. If you go on my Instagram, I do show the execution on where I actually closed the trade. I literally closed right there, guys. We were just about like maybe 10 points away from this, and just knowing how CPI was and how choppy this was going lower, it was just so slow too. I did not, and the 12 o'clock candle was just right here as well. I'll mark it here. This was the 12 o'clock opening. I did not want to see a retrace, which you can see clearly it did, right? And imagine, it would have stopped me out. Well, it would have fully stopped me out. Even if I went to BE, I would have lost all that profit and went into BE, right? Or I would have taken that loss, because unfortunately, based on my rules, I like to see a at least a 5-minute swing point being formed to move my stop loss towards that point, right? Because that's a confirmed swing point. Once we have that like a swing point form, a change in state of delivery to continue higher, right? So it's like something like this, right? Manipulate, change in the state of delivery. This is considered a protected swing point, so you would most likely put your stop loss right there. I just didn't do that when I entered here, because clearly it's such a large trade, a large stop loss, which I didn't want to do. I just took it right here within the specific range that we closed back into, right? So that was it for that New York session. Pretty shitty session. I didn't really like it. We waited till 11:30. Imagine that, right? So it was a very patient day, type of day. Typical for CPI. Not really surprised as usual. So hopefully we have some good price action tomorrow. We have core PPI from what I can recall tomorrow, so which is at 8:30. So hopefully we can see what that specific news does if we manipulate, and then maybe 9 can confirm could be a continuation, or we'll do like 9 the manipulation, and then 10 o'clock will be the continuation based off the bias, which will most likely be bullish, because like I said, NQ still hasn't came to attack these relative equal highs right here at 26,124. But overall, guys, that is it. Again, like I said, I think learning a good lesson here was I think I needed to wait for a nice 2-stage cracking correlation to enter this trade. Again, what I'm happy about is that I was able to enter back with confidence, guys. Okay, so I know back in the day when I would take a loss, I would be like very pissed off. I wouldn't even want to, I would just avoid it. I would walk away. But again, the things I see, just the way I see it, like imagine this candle literally reversed back into it, closing back within that range. I knew right there and then that we were willing to go higher from there. We manipulated, took out some orders, formed a nice 2-stage, and that was basically it. The rest was history, guys. So other than that, guys, that is it for today's recap. Hopefully you guys learned something from this, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow. I'm gonna see what I can do to make this we can go live, if anything, most likely tomorrow, and then we can just break down live price action, and then we can go from there, guys. If anything, have yourself a good night, stay safe, take care.